This video illustrates how strong Alireza is in Blitz and how tricky it can be. Facing here with the black pieces, Hikaru-Nakamura, probably one of the best online Blitz player ever. Now they go about their game, but I'm interested to see how Alireza can swindle and trick his way out of a difficult position. So on move 21, you can see here that black has a king here. This is not developed and white is much better. The game continues, and on move 27, knight f5. You can see Hikaru is dominating. So Alireza trying to survive, exchange the queens. Now make no mistakes, this position is crushing for white and has +4, +5 points if you were to put in an engine. However, this is not enough to secure a win against Alireza Firouzja, as we shall see. So this position, you can see that black is barely surviving. And here, that's the first moment where Hikaru misses a clean win and gives changes to Firouzja. So in this position, bishop c4 would be a clean win. Attacking f7, so you would have to defend. Then you take on b3, exchange. And here, black is tied up to defend this pawn. So if you play a random move, bishop c4, and after a move of the knight, bishop a6. Now you can see white is crushing, and if you were to attack the bishop, bishop b7, skewer wins. So bishop c4, this will be resigned in a few moves. However, in this position, Hikaru take on a6. And here, very interesting, first great move, rook h e8. So counterplay, trying to come to e1. Let's say you ignore the threat. Then check, check, and knight e5 attacks the rook, attacks the bishop. Let's say you move the rook. Here, rook h1, checkmate. All right, so rook h e8, great move. Now Hikaru doesn't fall for that. King f1 prevents rook e1. So now what is the next move? Rook a8, and we can see that attacking the bishop and attacking the pawn, and maybe rook a1. Tricky Alireza, right? Now, not so fast. Rook c6 defends the bishop. Now, I'll give you 3 seconds to find how Alireza will trick Hikaru. Answer, knight g4. First idea, a little fork here, right? On h2, attack the king and attack the rook. Now keep in mind that the king cannot go on the e file. Well, that's the first tricky idea. What's the second idea? Where knight e5 also attack the rook and attack this one, right? And we're still attacking the bishop. Very tricky knight move, knight g4. In the game, Hikaru forced for the trick and play rook d3. Now, knight e5 played, fork. Now, what's happening here? Black is up in exchange. And now, Hikaru is in a lost position. And what is the conversion from Alireza? Flawless. He just plays with ruthless energy. And here, what is the winning move? Rook cd2. Attacking the bishop, and if you move the bishop somewhere, the rook falls. So rook cd2, GG, game over. Now, I want to go back to this extremely tricky move, knight g4. Now you may say, well, that was just an oversight by Hikaru. Maybe would I play rook c3 and win the game, right? Because there's no longer a fork on e5. This is what I think Alireza would have played. Rook a d8, pattern little checkmate on d1, so bishop e2 will be the answer, knight d5, and here rook d2. Now you can see that we're trying to get some counterplay. Rook b3 would make sense. And now what would be a tricky move in a style of Firouzja? I'll give you 3 seconds again. And here the tricky move, knight d3. So why is it so tricky? If you take the knight, checkmate. Okay, we cannot do that. If you take the knight like that, then I can play rook d e2. And that is with some checks, checkmate here, the king has to run, taking here, that this rook endgame is far from being won for white. So you get a lot of counter chances. And the last idea I wanted to show you in knight d3 position, let's say that you ignore the threat and you do a6, trying to promote. Here the trick would be rook d1 check and rook a1. So what is the lesson of the day? I think that you have to be wary of Alireza's knights. Knight d3 here is a very fancy knight move. Knight g4 here with a lot of forks. And here, the winning move, knight e5. And all of a sudden, Firouzja is in the driver's seat. I hope you enjoyed this breakdown of this showdown between Hikaru and Firouzja. That was a Blitz game. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much.